Welcome to the tasting of the 4 amazing farmhouse and artisan cheeses from Scotland featured in our Bonnie Scottish cheese selection. So we have 4 cheeses to walk you through today, and we'll taste them together and we'll tell you the stories about them and what makes them so truly delicious and unique. So my name is Svetlana and I'm the founder of The Cheese Lady. This is Pauline, the co-founder of The Cheese Lady, and we are really excited to tell you more about these 4 cheeses. So the first cheese in the Bonnie Scottish selection is Minger. So it's a very memorable Scottish name, shall we say. For those who don't really know what it means that it's something aromatic, something punchy in terms of the aroma. And therefore we'll discover that when we taste this cheese. So it's a cow's milk, pasteurized cow's milk, vegetarian rennet, and as you can see, it comes in a little square. I'm not going to pick it up because it's very soft, and it's bright orange on the outside. This cheese is not technically speaking a wash drying cheese, interestingly, but it has a little bit of annatto, which is a plant extract, which gives it a bright orange color on the outside. But yet it does have that characteristic wash drying cheese aroma. So let's have a little sniff.
It's quite an aromatic cheese, isn't it?
Yes, it's a cheese with a character.
Yeah. I think when you do smell it, it is quite, oh, you didn't really expect it to be that strong, if that makes sense.
No, absolutely, yes. But yet it is. It's very punchy. So if you want something with real character, Minger. And in terms of texture, we have some pieces here. Let's give it a try. Very complex. Silky smooth.
It's just the way to say silky, absolutely.
I mean, you have to remember with soft cheeses that if they're fully ripe, which is when you probably want to enjoy them at the peak of their ripeness, that's when they're going to be the softest, the gooeyest. So it's a great time to have it. And a very complex, slightly mushroomy taste, very deep and lingering, absolutely amazing. So this cheese is from Tain, which is in the Highlands, and from a very creative mind of a cheesemaker who restarted their cheesemaking on the farm. They do have some cheesemaking heritage going back a few decades, but he's created a business around his cheese inspiration. So they have a variety of soft cheeses, Brie, Minger, and a few blue cheeses that we stock. So a fantastic artisan cheesemaker. I hope you are enjoying it at home.
Yeah, I always love, we're not calling it a wash grind, but something that gives you that kind of pungent smell, because it doesn't taste like it smells. And I love that. I love to try this, smell and appreciate it before you actually try it, because it is quite different. So I think that's a nice way to try it. Yeah,
it's a nice contrast, and I think that's a really great point. Remember to embrace and experience cheeses with all your 5 senses where possible, and smell is definitely part of the character of farmhouse and artisan cheeses. So don't miss that step. Embrace it fully and enjoy it.
I love the cheese.
That's a great one. So let's move on to our second cheese, and with this one we are going to Fife, the Kingdom of Fife. And interestingly, I have a bit of a personal history with this cheese because I used to make it over 10 years ago now, so a little bit of a long time ago. But this was my cheese where I actually got to experience cheese making. And let me tell you, it's back-breaking work. At the end of the day, where we had to take the freshly made curds and put them in the forms, that was intense. It was quite hard going, but at the same time you get to appreciate how you take liquid substance, which is milk, in the morning, and then you turn it into curds, and then the next day you get fully formed truckles. So the cheese is Anster, which is short for Anster, a village in Fife, and it's made based on the recipe for Cheshire cheese.
Yep.
So if you think of Cheshire, it's a kind of a firmish, maybe semi-firm, depending on the age, kind of cheese. It's crumbly. It's crumbly, it's milky, it's zingy. So
yeah,
let's have a little taste.
That is certainly one of the flavours I got, was the zinginess of it.
Yeah.
And yes, nice and crumbly.
Yes, look at the texture. It crumbles, but in a completely different way to a cheddar.
Yeah.
It's a smaller crumble. But yeah, once we've crumbled it, let's have a smell.
Yeah, you can definitely smell the, I don't know, the slightly lemony.
Lemony, zingy,
Yeah.
but also milky.
Citrusy. Yeah.
Very milky. That, yes, freshly made cheese. Though this cheese is matured for a few months, it almost still has that character of a freshly made cheese.
Almost cottage cheese like.
Yeah, exactly, exactly.
But obviously the texture is not soft. But
let's have a try.
Lovely.
But also, while we're trying it, I'll mention the rind. It's a natural rind here. You can potentially eat it. It is going to be earthy because it's matured in the cellar, but you can equally just cut it off. I mean, the best part is obviously the inside of the cheese. And what do you think about the flavor?
There's definitely sharpness. Definitely milky, as you would expect. I think it has a slightly drier texture. Very slight.
It's nice and mature. I wouldn't say that's on the very young side. It's been matured for a few months. But yeah, that milkiness, that zinginess, that freshness comes through. And it's, like I say, it's made to a Cheshire recipe, but we can also liken it to Wensleydale. So this kind of cheese you can enjoy with fruitcake around Christmas time. It's a real treat. But also what I admire about this cheese and this cheese maker is that they make this cheese with raw cow's milk and traditional rennet. So they are of that philosophy that they embrace traditional cheese making. They make a really fantastic cheese. So if you enjoy a Cheshire style, this one from Scotland, Anster, is our equivalent. It's absolutely gorgeous. Right. Let's have a try of our next cheese, and this one is from the Isle of Mull, and it's the Isle of Mull cheddar. So it's probably, without having checked our recent numbers, I would say quite confidently is our best-selling cheese in the shop, bar none. Because we're obviously in Scotland and everybody loves a cheddar, and this is our quintessentially Scottish cheddar. So the Isle of Mull that we sell is normally matured for 12 months plus. Sometimes in the shop we have an extra mature variety, but in our Bonnie selection you will get a 12 months Isle of Mull. You can see it's a firm cheese. It comes in a big truckle. It's matured in cloth, covered in lard after cheese making, so that helps to preserve the truckle for a long aging. So if we touch the texture,
it's firm.
It's firm, but has a little bit of a give. So we wouldn't say it's a hard cheese, but definitely firm. And I'm going to have a little sniff and appreciate that the texture is quite different to Anster.
If you're familiar with cheddars, it's definitely the cheddar texture, isn't it?
Absolutely. It's a bigger crumble. And the aroma here compared to Anster is much deeper. It's kind of a sweeter, nuttier, I want to say.
I think there's almost a grassiness as well.
Yeah, absolutely. Again, this is a raw milk cheese. This is made again with traditional rennet. So all of the goodness of cow's diet and fantastic natural cow's milk goes into this cheese. And what do you think about the flavor?
It has definitely a sharpness. And when we say sharp, probably more fruity, I would think, compared to an English cheddar, which is a bit more kind of nutty and earthy. I think the Scottish ones are definitely a bit more sharp and tangy.
Yes.
And you really notice that when you have it.
There's a definite tang there, and yes, fruity, but also there's like a tiny bit of funkiness. Like it has something about it. I love Mull cheddar, and I do wonder sometimes. Well, we had the pleasure of visiting this cheesemaker and staying on the farm, and we got to see the cheese making. But also, there is a well-known fact that is shared quite generously, that they use draff, which is used grains from making whiskey from the nearby Tobermory distillery, and potentially this draff, this used grain from whiskey making, is what gives this cheese its unique character, because it goes through the cow's system in its diet, and comes out as a little kind of unusual je ne sais quoi that I taste in this cheese. It definitely has a uniqueness to it. Would you agree?
I would agree. I think it's one of those, unless you knew there was that whiskey note behind everything, you might not notice it, but if you did it with a comparison, something like St Andrew's cheddar, I think you would notice there's a little something. And it would explain it, wouldn't it? The whiskey draft is, like you say, the je ne sais quoi.
Je ne sais quoi. So very unique, delicious, and we hope you enjoy it. Very uniquely Scottish is what I like to say. Okay, so and moving on to our last and final cheese. Of course, we'll finish on the blue cheese, and luckily we do have quite a few fantastic ones in Scotland, and this is probably the granddaddy of them all. I do love this cheesemaker because they are second to none in quality, in their philosophy when it comes to farmhouse cheesemaking. They are true farmhouse cheesemaker, by the way, because they have their own animals. They have their own sheep, which they use for this cheese, and now they have their own goats. And their milk they use for producing other cheeses. So this cheese is Lanark Blue. And it was born out of passion for farmhouse cheese in the early 1980s. And the man who started making Lanark Blue is Humphrey Errington. And he had that real passion for traditional cheese and wanted to keep raw milk cheeses alive in Scotland, because sadly they had declined by that point. So he went to France, he learned how to make Roquefort. He obviously got the recipe, and he got the same breed of sheep, which he brought to Scotland, Lacon sheep, and he produced his version of Roquefort. But I have to be completely clear, because the terroir is completely different, everything is different. It's not going to be a replica of Roquefort. Don't expect that. It's a cheese of its own right. It has its own completely unique character. So Lanark Blue, absolutely, from South Lanarkshire, made from raw milk to this day, and with vegetarian rennet. Humphrey now has retired and passed over the cheese-making reins to his daughter Selena, her husband, their family. So they're all involved, and they continue making Lanark Blue. What do we think about the smell?
Slightly earthy.
Earthy? I'm picking up a very evident kind of upfront mushroomy aroma. Kind of steeliness as well.
Oh, right.
That's what I'm getting. Yeah, very interesting. You can obviously smell the rind as well. This is where it's kind of a natural rind. It gets covered with foil on the outside, and you can eat it, but it's funky. It's got a lot of mold on the outside on the rind. Completely up to you, though. The mold is not going to harm you, but it's just going to give that earthiness. But if you prefer just the cheese, let's go and see how it is inside.
You pick up a real sharpness. Just a right amount of salt.
Yes.
It's quite mouth coating, so it kind of lingers. And it's very enjoyable to have.
I agree with all of the above, but I also would say it has the sweetness of sheep's milk, which is not completely evident because it's a blue cheese, and you do get the saltiness and you get kind of the sharpness. But if you dig deeper when you're enjoying this cheese, you can see the richness of sheep's milk, and there's a bit of sweetness, and absolutely gorgeous that way. The main difference for me with Roquefort, I think, is that Lanark Blue tends to be more kind of medium strength, whereas
Yeah.
Roquefort is a lot stronger, and it's a little bit more on the crumbly side.
Yeah.
Which I find happens with a lot of British blues. Maybe it's something about our terroir here, but yes, it's a little bit more crumbly, and yeah, medium strength. I think it's a beautiful cheese.
It's a very easy cheese, I think. And I absolutely love used milk cheeses. I mean, and as Svetlana said, it's got that sweetness that you get from sheep's milk, which is lovely. I think my first bit was too small to appreciate that. But yeah, it's got that lovely sweet undertone. Yeah.
Wonderful. Well, that's our selection. The Bonnie Scottish selection. We do hope you enjoyed it at home as well and enjoyed your little tour of Scotland and its cheese making. Thank you.
Thank you.